My folks overlooked my boy's initial celebration. They claimed it was merely an insignificant occasion. Afterward, my mother shared footage from a Hawaiian getaway featuring my siblings' children. 7 days on, my father phoned, mentioning the installment transfers aren't happening. I responded, avoid reaching out regarding minor issues. I'm Jason. At 31, I'm the eldest offspring, the dependable type. I repair modems during reunions. I swap out bulbs others can't access. I'm the individual my guardians summon when the shed entrance refuses to shut or the screen displays no connection. I'm wedded to Nora. Our child is Leo. He recently hit the 1-year mark. I'm the youngster who departed the nest at 18 and funded my path. Dual employment during university. Evening sessions. No sabbatical. No overseas vacation. My sibling Bianca is 3 years my junior. 2 offspring. Constant turmoil. The sort of social media clips that demand audio due to the shrieks and beverages. My guardians cherish her. They don't murmur it. It's embedded in their dialogue. Your sibling's schedule is overflowing. Mom remarks when Bianca overlooks an anniversary. She's trying her hardest. Dad chimes in when Bianca skips a repayment. Nora teases that I'm the household tech support and cash machine. She phrases it gently to soften the blow. The evening prior to Leo's gathering, I was in our cooking area icing a flat dessert resembling a modest snow pile. There were inflatables scattered, azure and golden affixed to the surfaces. The residents carried sense of sweetness and fresh vinyl. Nora was tagging small containers, snacks, fruits, miniature bites, and singing softly to a collection of upbeat tunes that simplified the atmosphere. My device vibrated on the surface. Kin group conversation. Mom, quick note, what hour tomorrow? Me, midday. We mentioned midday. Bianca, we'll attempt. The little ones have tons scheduled. Me, it's Leo's debut anniversary. Dad. Jason, avoid pressuring folks. I gazed at the display. I'd distributed schedules. I'd posted an actual card invitation since Mom appreciates the elegance. I'd even purchased caffeine-free brew as Bianca noted stimulants unsettle her. Nora gripped my limb and murmured, inhale. It's okay. It wasn't okay. I anticipated precisely how the following day might unfold, yet optimism persists. The subsequent noon at 11:58, I arranged small cardboard hats on the surface. Nora inserted a single wick into the frosty treat. Our companions arrived with their infants, drowsy and gooey and adorable. The entrance bell stayed silent. Midday passed. At 12:17, my gadget illuminated. Mom, hello dear, she said casually. We can't attend. An obligation arose. What obligation? My tone emerged dull. A prior engagement, she stated. Avoid theatrics. Bianca added in the discussion shortly after with one term, occupied. Nora noticed my expression and murmured, do we proceed with the tune? We proceed, I affirmed. We tuned. Leo applauded, astonished by the glow and his capability. I grinned for the lens, but my torso ached like a strained tendon. Once all departed, after the ground was dotted with colorful bits and squished fruit, after Leo dozed on my arm, I accessed the app. Mom had uploaded a looping clip with tropical plants and sea. Hawaii finally. Kin bonding. Bianca and her young ones appeared, all rays and coordinated outfits. Mom labeled a hotel. The description, recollections that count. I fixated on that phrase until the characters blurred. Recollections that count, not this. Not Leo's initial treat, not our group. Nora rested against me silent. You all right? I gulped. Certainly. That evening, after we wiped the final icing streak and tucked the sign away, my device rang once more, Dad. I allowed it to voicemail, then activated. Jason, he stated in the manner for scolding. The installment transfers aren't occurring. I gazed upward. The balloon chain swayed in the cooling breeze like sluggish sea creatures. Then I returned the call. Hey, he said, at last, avoid reaching out, I stated, regarding minor issues. I disconnected and placed the device screen down. Nora's brows rose. What? She inquired. I tuned into my heartbeat. I believe, I stated. That's the final instance I permit them to dictate the narrative. I rested little. I didn't weep either. I reclined in the shadows beside my spouse. Our boy respiring gently via the device and sensed something chilly and straightforward lock in. Tomorrow, I'd cease being the support line. Allow me to backtrack. The installment transfers Dad referred to were far from minor. 3 years prior, my folks contacted me for mature discussion. That's how Mom presented it. We convened at an eatery with adhesive lists. Dad coughed like a leader. It's only a minor matter, he stated. A temporary aid. Bianca had launched a children's shop with a companion. It endured half a year less lease. There were vendors. There were charges. There was obligation. My folks secured a unified borrowing under their identities to prevent her sinking. The rate was exorbitant. The institution proposed improved conditions with a joint applicant boasting superior rating. Mom contacted my palm. "You've consistently excelled with finances." I declined. I repeated it thrice. Then Dad performed that act where he leans rear, inhales deeply, and states, "We provided all for you." Nora was expecting then. I envisioned a bed and a pile of statements. I also recalled my adolescent self trimming adjacent yards to acquire my running gear since funds aren't abundant, was the resident's slogan. "Merely for 12 months, Mom stated. We'll be vigilant," I endorsed, not due to trust in them, due to faith in concluding a dialogue initiated at my birth. The period elapsed, transfers delayed twice. I compensated, assuring myself I safeguarded my rating. Dad labeled those periods glitches. Bianca termed them assaults. As in, why do rates assault me? Concurrently, the catalog of tiny items I funded extended. The young ones required fresh seating. I acquired it. Dad's generator failed. I compensated the technician. The network at my folks' place was unjustly sluggish, so I enhanced their package and included them in my viewing services. Mom mentioned she'd transfer funds next week. She didn't. "Kin supports kin," she'd remark, beaming as if she'd embroidered that cushion personally. On records, it appeared I thrived. Supervisor wage, steady position, coverage, a retirement fund I recalled to monitor. In actuality, it involved numerous "we'll recover next period," "we'll purchase premium brew when reductions aren't rumored," and "we can forego the short getaway, we possess the green space." Nora never grumbled. She'd store a slip in the compartment and clasp my palm. Bianca enjoyed emphasizing my fortune. "You're fortunate," she'd state, drinking a large, chilled beverage in my folks' cooking area. Some face hardships. "You refer to those billing drinks to my plastic." I remarked once unkindly. She dismissed. "You're too extreme." When Leo arrived, I assumed dynamics would alter. The initial descendant on my branch, the debut great descendant. I imagined dishes on our entry, like community members. I imagined Mom's fingers in Leo's locks and Dad mastering wrapping. What occurred were self-portraits of Bianca's young ones greeting their small relative, captured in her residence, distant. While Mom cradled Leo for precisely 4 moments, then requested if I could examine her tablet since the messages shifted. Nonetheless, I continued transfers, not from reduced affection, but from greater love for my prospects, and my rating formed part of those prospects regardless. I scheduled the borrowing. I integrated alerts in my agenda so no one's glitch sabotaged us. And each instance I handled that transfer, I experienced the identical knot in my gut. Not fury, bitterness's subtler relative. The one that simply occupies your seat and remains. 2 months before Leo's celebration, Bianca contacted me during employment as if the workplace was my chamber and she could stroll in. "Hey," she stated. "What shade for the young ones in Mom's advanced maternal images? Coastal pastels or vibrant hues?" "Coastal pastels," I replied, since any response trapped. "Hey, can you forward Mom Leo's event date again?" She acts astonished when I reference it. Bianca scoffed. "You're so demanding. It's an infant devouring dessert. Adorable but not significant. My boy is significant," I stated and terminated without remorse. That set the mood for the week. Me pleading absentees to attend a moment I'd cherish eternally and they'd deem charming. The dawn of Leo's celebration. Mom messaged a love symbol. No phrases. Bianca dispatched an image of luggage with a rest symbol and title. "Greetings." Dad remained silent until post-dessert slicing. He contacted regarding the borrowing, when I stated avoid reaching out about minor issues. It was the most spiteful remark I've uttered. Spite tasted pleasant. But truthfully, I recognized nothing forthcoming was minor. Since once I halted as the support line, the requests accumulate. Since once I ceased as the cash machine, folks observe the faulty display. The initial days post-gathering were a barrage of notes. "Mom, why address your dad that way? Dad, we're away. Can we converse maturely upon return?" Bianca astonishing over dessert. I stayed mute. Nora and I escorted Leo to the green area and allowed him to turn into a constellation of bits. We rested on a seat requiring coating, in the glow that softens all, and I stated I'm finished. "Finished how?" she questioned. "I'm shutting the vault," I stated, "and the support line, and the constant service." "All right," Nora stated, "proceed, you needn't justify further." It's odd, the stillness post-choice. It's not harmony, not immediately. It's merely sharpness keen enough to slice a container. I accessed my computer that evening and compiled a roster. Scheduled transfer for their borrowing deactivated. Viewing credentials altered. Joint communications service I'd been covering briefly terminated. The emergency plastic my folks photographed substituted. I avoided a declaration. I avoided broadcasting in the discussion. I avoided indirect posts. I executed what I ought to have years back. The following dawn, Dad contacted from a terrace with birds screeching and surf pounding. I heard Bianca's young ones yelling that the sea was briny. Son, he stated, the borrowing. Consult the provider, I stated, and concluded the contact. 60 minutes later, Mom uploaded a clip of Bianca's young ones constructing a sand fort around her toes. Title, These Instances Count. She included a glimmer symbol as if profundity ensued. I set my device screen down once more. Leo scampered across it and tapped it with his skull like a marine mammal with a sphere. He chuckled. I chuckled as well, since occasionally existence provides the precise emblem required. Then the messages intensified. Mom, you're causing drama. Dad, cease penalizing your sibling. Bianca, unbelievable. Are you truly raging over an infant event? I composed and erased 20 responses before allowing the device dim. Permit them to speak. I possessed a fresh role now. Limits, their task. 1 week post-gathering, they returned tanned and upbeat. Mom contacted before luggage was stowed. All right, she stated, cheerful. Now back in reality, we must tackle some maintenance. Maintenance, I echoed. The borrowing, she stated. The services you oversee. The viewing. Your dad wasted 20 minutes attempting news last evening and it failed. That's awful, I stated, comparable to conflict. Jason, she retorted, avoid irony, we form a unit. We depend on one another, you depend on me, I stated, that's distinct. Quietude. I envisioned her expression, the firmness of her lips when nearing tears, prompting retreat. I didn't intervene, then Dad joined. This is immature, he stated. Whatever the cause, it's beyond a celebration. It's a trend, I stated. It's regarding esteem, he stated. Precisely. He exhaled. We nurtured you. You also bypassed my boy's debut celebration for Hawaii with Bianca's young ones and uploaded recollections that count. Then you contacted me from a recliner about a transfer you vowed to handle. That excursion was scheduled ages ago, he stated. Avoid drama. I recalled the eatery, the adhesive lists, the ink tool in my grasp. The provider holds your endorsements, I stated. They can assist with scheduling transfers. You withdrew yourself, he stated, as if I'd severed a part. I withdrew entry, I stated, to items you don't fund. A change occurred then. The snap when appeal falters and the underlying tone emerges. Mom rejoined the line. How could you, she exhaled, after all we've provided? What have you provided? I questioned, composed, inquisitive, as if documenting. We offered shelter, she stated. I relocated at 18. We funded your educational tools, she stated. Recall calculator costs. Yes, I stated. I trimmed grass to obtain one. You lack gratitude. I permitted that to linger. Then remarked, you labeled Leo's debut celebration minor. Then you created a film about the shore. I never labeled minor. Dad interrupted. Officially, I suggested mature discussion. And you disconnected. That's not mature conduct. Here's mature conduct, I stated. They settle obligations they assume. They avoid using one offspring to support another. They appear. And when unable, they avoid deeming the bypassed event minor. Monitor your manner, Dad stated. I envisioned the flat dessert, the wick, how Leo chuckled at the light, then feared, then chuckled since we remained. Nora's palm on my spine firm, I envisioned the title, Recollections That Count. I stated, here's the plan. I'm not overseeing your statements. I'm not joint borrowing. I'm not your system aid. If assistance needed, summon an expert and compensate, your harsh Mom stated. And now the weep emerged, the shake in each term. What about your sibling? She's submerging. She possesses 2 limbs, I stated. There's a step, I'm not the step. Bianca naturally messaged amid the contact. Bianca, astonishing, detached vibe, you prioritize funds over kin. Me. I prioritize my kin over your justifications. Dad exhaled like a protagonist in sorrow. If you proceed, he stated, avoid seeking us when required. I won't, I stated. Then I disconnected, stored my device in the compartment for adhesives and power cells, and proceeded to the lounge where Nora and Leo constructed a structure with cushy pieces. Leo toppled it with his tiny hand and exclaimed at his strength. I settled on the carpet and chuckled until ribs sensed it. 10 minutes on, my device, disregarded in the compartment, started accumulating fresh notes. I permitted them to gather like particles. By meal, the group discussion shifted from remorse to warnings to slurs and returned to remorse. I prepared, Nora sliced. Leo spread veggies on his surface. I sensed something absent for years, my existence compact and vibrant, nestling in my grasp. Fracturing isn't always explosive. Occasionally it's a soft snap, an entrance you seal that was jammed. And upon sealing, the residents achieved silence. The silence endured under 48 hours. On Tuesday, Dad left audio stating the provider refuses dialogue without you. That was untrue and not my concern. On Wednesday, Mom uploaded a capture of scripture on social media about respect your guardians and labeled me, which merits ridicule in proceedings. On Thursday, Bianca messaged Nora since I ignored her. Bianca to Nora, "Hey lady, can you instill reason in your spouse? He's destroying the unit." Nora, master of subtle cuts, responded, "Please exclude me from monetary talks, not mine." Bianca, astonishing, influenced. Nora, limited. Meanwhile, I performed uncelebrated tasks resembling duties. I contacted the provider, clarified I'd cease as payer, and documented that all loan correspondence direct to named borrowers. The agent inquired, certain, in a tone suggesting cult exit. Certain, I affirmed. I composed a basic message to my folks. No offenses, no verse, 3 points. From today, I cease bill management. Avoid contacting about codes, viewing, or system problems. For Leo, future events, provide dates. If free, will affirm. I concluded with I care. I focus on my unit, spouse, and boy. Mom responded with an essay, then shared with extended kin. Dad sent brief, comprehended, let down, contact me, I didn't. The following week was chaotic. I awoke daily with a twist where my abdomen was. I monitored our funds as if digits might flee. Each device alert tensed my frame. Then existence acted as when releasing a carried burden. It surged. Employment simplified, not from altered duties but absent constant hum. I wasn't resolving another's network during outlines. I wasn't searching for due alerts amid updates. I regained cognitive capacity. Nora observed initially. "You're vocalizing," she remarked one evening during Leo's clothing fold. You hadn't for ages." Leo advanced 2 paces that week, then 3, then 5 as if pursuing delight along the corridor. We applauded foolishly. I messaged the clip to elders since I'm not cruel. Mom replied with love and desire we attended live, grin, as if fate invited and she missed transport. I declined engagement. Bianca attempted fresh strategy. Sympathy. Bianca. The young ones inquire why Uncle Jay avoids me. Convey truth. Uncle Jay's with Leo. Bianca. I avoid them thinking hatred. Me. Then cease providing causes. There were additional minor victories. I altered final viewing codes and received Dad's message. Can't view updates. I responded. Attempt print. Nora chuckled extensively. You're bold, she stated. I'm adapting. Then the major event occurred. Not legal, not driveway clash. Merely institution choice. The provider dispatched notice stating from payment inconsistencies, the borrowing heads to recovery unless overdue settled by month close. It resembled observing a wagon I'd hauled pass and continue. I didn't rejoice. I didn't applaud. I captured the notice and stored in documents. 2 days on, Dad contacted and left weary audio. Jason, he stated, we're tangled. I require your aid to escape. I pondered that phrase. The man who once instructed at 13 to resolve when my cycle link snapped, requested fix for his deliberate break. I replayed twice, then summoned Nora to cooking area and replayed aloud. What now? I questioned. Nora dried palms and gazed. What you declared, maintain limit, and provide advice for a stranger. I returned Dad's call. He responded immediately as if gripping device. Okay, I stated, here's guidance. Contact provider, request relief scheme, sell extra vehicle if necessary, trim expanded channels, contact debt advisor, this is fixable. But I won't transfer once. Not one, you'd observe your guardian sink, he questioned. You're in shallow, I stated, step exists, utilize, he silenced long. Then we nurtured kindness. You nurtured utility, I stated, I'm kind now. To my child, to my spouse, to me. He disconnected gently, that pained more than yells. I lingered in quiet and a loud sting. Next day, Mom messaged Leo's celebration present image, a small island top with fruits, no memo. Just the top on their cooking surface. The one with scorch from Bianca's Wick 3 holidays back. I typed appreciation and dispatched, then stored the top in Leo's compartment. He'd don it on a marinara day we didn't care to spoil. A week on, unexpected occurred. Bianca contacted weeping, not staged weeping, the type where phrases fragment. They reduced our shifts, she stated. Care is chaos. I lack direction. Former me would have unlocked funds instinctively. Now I inhaled. I'm regretful, I stated. That's tough. What to inform the young ones, she questioned. Truth, I stated. Funds tight currently. Adults plan. You'll consult advisor and budget expert. I can forward links. I can supervise young ones one night for interviews. I can't settle your statements. You're permitting my drop, she murmured. I'm permitting your stride, I stated. It mimics drop initially. She disconnected. She avoided post messages. I stood in cooking area, hands on cool surface, sensing sorrowful and oddly buoyant. It's feasible to care for someone in decline as their cushion. No one informed me young. I'm informing now. 2 evenings on, Mom dispatched lengthy note regretting manner but not substance. Her expertise. A phrase I reread fivefold. We unaware Leo's debut celebration mattered that much to you. I chuckled alone at Basin. I chuckled to cough. I captured screen stored in documents and responded. Inform which achievements count to you. I'll notify availability. It mimicked tossing cord over stream without binding to waste. We avoided them a month. The residents silent appropriately now. We formed fresh customs. Friday flapjacks. Sunday strolls. Tuesday tail hour where Leo attempted consuming a panel with animal and I permitted since youth is consumable. On arbitrary Thursday I received brief from Dad. Secured scheme with institution. Will manage. I fixated ease and grief simultaneous. They would manage. We already managed. Those facts needn't clash. That weekend, Mom requested if they could visit with minor present for Leo and converse. I agreed with guidelines. 60 minutes. No borrowing chat. No Bianca turmoil. If talk derails, I'll conclude. They arrived with timber vehicle and store pastry. Mom's grin for visitors. Dad appeared reduced but sharper-eyed. He knelt and pushed vehicle to Leo, who rang like chimes. Mom attempted tale of adorable young ones act at hotel, then halted midway. That surprised more than see image. We discussed trivial, climate, employment, the plant on entry that defies death. Upon departure, Mom embraced testing borders. Your excellent parent, she murmured. I wept post door shut, not from belief in change, because I've desired those phrases since pre-knowing their internal form. We aren't mendied. Not cinema, but residents silent correctly now. Bianca messaged part-time at alternate firm. I dispatched approval. She dispatched young one's art image and added, if you desire them supervised later, no luck. Then grin. I wrote, perhaps I rest improved. Nora rests without midnight kin alerts. Leo rests like tiny deity trusting held world. Occasionally late I review that title, recollections that count. I avoid hating. I merely differ on significance. This is the recollection that counts. A residence where my child's celebration isn't a side. A cooking area where minor means charred flapjack we chuckle over. A limit that endured.